welcome to this episode of the Gunman. This video I'll be taking you through this Volvo S80 and getting it masked up and painted. The colour code is 472. The name of the colour is Hurricane Grey. Doing it in Standox Solvent base and Crystal Clear Pro. So as you can see, it's already prepped up and we're masking it up now. And the colour matching is done, but I just uploaded another video which includes colour matching and prep work on this same job. I thought I'd just break it up into two. So I've gone around for most of this video just with my GoPro on the chest mount. I thought I'd give you just a full idea of what goes on when I'm actually painting a job from start to finish type thing. So as I said, the other video's up there. I'll sped it up a few little bits when I'm editing the vid just to keep the interest in it, but still be able to take you right through from start to finish. A lot of my videos are just painting, so thought I'd include some other parts as well to try and keep them interesting for you. So I just like to put a couple of rows of tape in there just so we don't get any overspray inside there. And we'll then go and grab a piece of paper and put it in the rear edge of this door jamb. So you've always got to make sure you mask the rear door first. No matter what car you're masking, always do your rear door first and then do your front door after. So, if you try and mask the front door and then close it, you won't be able to mask that back edge. That's the simple reason why. So after we've done that, we'll do these edges. This front edge here, make sure you get that underneath that rubber too before you shut that door, because you won't be able to do it when it shuts up. And then just go around putting bits of tape around the edge. And this is the way I like to do this front edge. Just flip it up underneath there. Flip it up underneath the edge of the door, and fine. You won't get any overspray in there if you do it that way. So then go around just grabbing bits of tape and throwing them inside the door handle there too, where the door handle goes, and open up the plastic here. Can be a bit tricky to do by yourself, but I've had enough practice. Sometimes you might want to get someone else to help you do that. So open up the plastic, then grab a nice sharp razor blade. You don't want to obviously cut into the paint surrounding the panel. Some of the stuff I say, you might think, oh, that's so stupid, like who wouldn't do that? But most of the stuff I do say, I say it because I've actually seen people do it. Seen people cut into like the paint surrounding the panel. Like to me, it's pretty stupid, but people do that kind of stuff. So yeah, just going around taping all that plastic down. Make sure it's nice and tight. You don't want it flapping around and stuff like that when you start painting. Like sometimes if it's not tight, and then it'll flap back up into the paint where you're trying to paint. So next up, we'll also take you through, give you a quick look at the spray booth. This one looks like it's straight out of the 50s. Bit of an old school spray booth, but it gets the results. The one that you can see in the background next door is a slightly better booth, but it was busy, so I ended up using this one. You can still get good results out of an old spray booth. We end up just get the fire hose and we hose it out to get water on the walls to keep the dust down a bit. And another thing I also do, so here we go, we fire the old girl up, get the heat on, turn the fan on and that, and then we'll come back in and we'll give it a wipe down with wax and grease remover. I'm actually just reusing these blue rags here. They're pretty expensive, so you can probably get a couple of jobs out of them if the job's this size. No use to get new ones each time, so they're pretty much lint free, these rags. That's why they cost, and they're sterile, so they're not going to have any contaminants on them. So let me grab our dry rag and we'll dry that prep soil that we've wiped off. Take note of how I do the blend areas, and then I'll go over the primed area, because if you go over the primed area first and then go over the blend area, you can end up leaving a bit of a milky, like the primer dust can end up landing on the blend area, and once you clear over it you can sometimes see it, so that's why I do it like that. And then we'll come out, mix the colour back up, which give it another stir up so the metallic hasn't sat to the bottom, strain it through, then we'll come up and we'll grab our blending clear. So that's already mixed, I just strain it in there. I've already thinned that down at a 1:1 ratio. I just thought it was a bit thick, wanted a bit more, so then we'll mix our 2K clear up. So there's a 2:1 ratio this clear. You can see on the sides of these cups they've got ratios, and you can go by them. That's why I'm mixing it up. Alternatively, you can get the sticks, or you can just use a ruler or something like that if that's all you've got and you're doing a job like this at home or something. So what I'm doing here is I'm mixing all my paint up at once, and then I'm going into the spray booth, and I'm not going to leave the spray booth. That's a little trick to help get a little bit less dust in your paint jobs, because there's probably 3 or 4 guys out here sanding, blowing stuff off. It's just a dusty environment, and it's good to just go in there, tack rag it, and you can stay in there. You've got your paint suit on, and that's one thing that I found can contribute to getting nice clean paint jobs. So now we're in the booth, we'll stop speeding it up, we'll just go back to real time. So we'll plug our base coat gun in, get the air pressure up nice and high, start just giving it a final blow off and a tack rag here. So just go over it a couple of times, nice amount of air pressure. You could alternatively just use like the air gun, an air duster gun or an air blower. Just go over that a couple of times. You go over it 2 or 3 times. I always do that. Most of the time on my videos I try to keep them from being too long, but I thought this video I'll just leave a bit more footage in it. It gives you a bit more in-depth of what I actually do. So I'm going over that probably about 3 or 4 times, like tack ragging it, and it's a key to actually getting clean jobs. Yeah, sometimes people ask me, oh, how come I get so much dust in my jobs, and all stuff like this can contribute to getting less dust in your work. So now I'll start putting our base coat on. Make sure you're happy with the way the gun's spraying first. Do a quick test spray off the panel first. First coats, because I'm using solvent base, is going to dry really quickly. I haven't really used that much water base, but from what I hear it's a bit of a pain in the ass. Any bare metal rub throughs are going to, because it's water, it's going to rust up, and it takes a lot longer to dry, although you can get some good coverage with it, so it's not all bad. So you can see though with this, the second coat is pretty much covered, basically covered right up. You can't even really see any of that, not in this light. You always want to put another one over it just to be sure, because you can get them outside and in the sun you can see through them. So 3 coats is a good rule of thumb when using solvent base. Like sometimes you get reds and greens and some silvers and stuff like that. They can cover pretty bad, but most of the time most colours are pretty good, especially with Standox. Like if you use some of the cheaper brands, then you find the quality is going to go down as well. So I'm actually painting my own car, and I decided I'm going to make it look like a race car. It's an old 1985 Ford, and I'm going to use Standox on that. I'm not going to stuff around, try and save a couple of $100 on the paint and use cheap stuff, because you get what you pay for, I guess. So this is our blending clear that I'm putting on now, that we put in our guns. So that's just the clear base coat. I'll just put that over the areas that I want the metallic to land into nicely and not be able to see a blend there, to hide the blend. So just put that on after we've waited for the rest of the base coat, and then to flash off, and then straight away just jump back over, grab the colour gun, and then we'll do our technique coat, or the effect coat, and then we'll start doing the blend as well. So this coat's just medium wet. You don't want them too heavy. Make sure you get inside that door jamb, because there's a little bit of primer inside there. So sometimes I'll just false edge off the outside edge of the door jamb, but this time I needed some paint to get in there, so I backmasked inside the edge, as you saw before. I decided I wanted to do another effect coat over this. I'm quite happy with it. You can't hurt, I had the paint there. So for this job I ended up mixing up 200 mils of colour. You really don't need much for a job like this. The computer barks at you, it says, "Oh, are you sure you want to mix up this much paint?" It's not going to be accurate, but I've found it's still pretty accurate. You can go 150 mils and still get pretty good results. So I've let that flush off for a few minutes, and here we'll just go through the settings on the GTI Pro. So wound it right in, and come out 3 turns. That was 2.5. I decided it wasn't quite enough, and then I came back out another half a turn. So that's that 3 turns. I'm using pressure setting at 2 bar, which is pretty standard setting. The HVLP, will open the fan up, completely open up. And being that this is a European car, I wanted to use the HVLP Air Cap because they've got a very thick coat of clear on them, which the HVLP, the high volume, is going to put a lot of paint on it to get a consistent peel. This is our first coat of clear. As you can see, you get the gun nice and close. Move relatively quickly. These guns, the GTI Pro, actually I've decided they're pretty much exactly the same gun as the GTI Pro Light, because my friend's got one of the Pro Lights, the guy I work with, and one of the guys actually asked me, he said, can you put the air cap from the Pro onto the Pro Light? And I had a look, and you actually can, so you can actually turn them into exactly the same gun. So they're my favourite gun. I think in the States, which a lot of my viewers are from America, I noticed that a big part of my viewer base is from America. These are actually called the Tenka, I think it is, the Tenka Pro and the Tenka Light. But in Australia it's the GTI Pro and the GTI Pro Light. So we'll let that coat of, I'm using fast hardener in this and 10% fast reducer, so we'll let that flash off for 5 minutes, a couple of minutes, and then depending on the temperature obviously, so we'll put our next coat on. Just going a little bit slower than the first coat, just to get it a bit wetter. So at the end of this vid, we've got a quick shot of the car when it's finished off. Also got a couple of reviews and demos after that, a couple of links to them. At the end we've got the GTI Pro Light as well, set up for how to set it up for using the clear, and we've also got the Starter Jet RP 4000 review and demo clear coat. So it's pretty much bringing this job up to an end. Hope you've enjoyed it, hope you've learned a couple of things. If you haven't already, check me out on Facebook, there's a link in the comments box. More than welcome, post stuff, post pics of your projects, and check out, I've got plenty of photos on there, and all of these links end up going to the Facebook page, so you'll be able to keep up to date with all of my stuff. So there's a pretty nice orange peel in it. The lads gave it a bit of a polish up. This is after it's been washed up, so I was pretty happy with how it came up. Owner should be too.